Good day everyone, this is Coach Gerald. Welcome back to GMG Chess. Now, let's analyze one of the thrilling games in 2021, especially in the Top Chess Tournament, wherein white sacrifices queen brilliantly and black cannot avoid being checkmate. It is the game between Maxime Lagarde and Dai Van Nguyen. Without further ado, let's go now to the game. White played c4, the English opening, which is one of the great chess openings popularized by Howard Staton, who was the stronger player at his time during 1840. Also, many world chess champions, not to mention Bobby Fischer and Garry Kasparov, play it occasionally, even in the World Championship match against Boris Spassky and Anatoly Karpov. The beauty of this move rely on understanding the position than theoretical force move. Black plays c5, knight c3, knight c6, g3, g6, bishop g2, bishop g7. The symmetrical variation. The two fianchetto bishops are too strong, controlling the long diagonals. And white controls the d5 while black controls the d4 square. d3. The main move is knight f3. d6, e3, e6, knight ge2, knight ge7. Black still copying the white moves up to this point. Castle, castle, b3, b6, bishop a3, bishop b7. At this point, black did not copy the last move, focusing on the battle against the a8 to h1 diagonal. d4, the first strike in the center. Rook e8, queen d2, c takes d4, knight takes d4. At this point, black faced a tough decision. d5. If black played knight takes d4, bishop takes b7, rook b8, bishop g2, knight df5, rook a d1. White is better because of bishop pair and control along the d file and weak d6 pawn. After d5, knight takes c6, bishop takes c6. Bad move is knight takes c6. After c takes d5, e takes d5, rook a d1. White is better because of the weak d5 pawn. If black wants to save it, he must exchange the dark bishop to the white knight at c3, but subject to long-term dark square weaknesses. After bishop takes c3, queen takes c3. Then if knight e7, knight takes d5, knight takes d5, bishop takes d5, bishop takes d5, queen takes d5, queen takes d5, rook takes d5. White simply one pawn up. After bishop takes c6, rook fd1. Interesting is bishop takes e7. After queen takes e7, c takes d5, rook e d8 pinning the pawn, rook a d1, rook a c8. The idea is bishop takes c3. After queen takes c3, bishop takes d5 attacking the queen, followed by bishop takes g2, and that is equal. Rook c1, good move. Bishop b7. This position is roughly equal, but white is in the driver's seat. After rook fd1, d takes c4, queen e2. If queen takes d8, capturing the queen, rook a takes d8, rook takes d8, rook takes d8, bishop takes e7, rook c8, good move. The knight is pinned along the a1 to g7 diagonal. After bishop takes c6, rook takes c6, rook d1, because protecting by rook c1, black simply captured the pawn. Bishop takes c3, rook c1, rook d8 is wrong because after king g7, white is one pawn down. Bishop b2, rook takes c4, rook takes c4, b takes c4, equal. After queen e2 as played in the game, queen c8, bishop takes c6, queen takes c6, rook ac1, good move, maintaining the c file for white rook. Knight d5. If c takes b3, too greedy, then knight d5. Discover attack. After queen b7, knight takes e7, rook takes e7, bishop takes e7, queen takes e7, a takes b3. Black is exchanged down. After the game, knight d5, queen f3, rook ac8, knight e4. The idea is knight d6. Double attack the rook at c8 and e8. Knight c3. The best move is f5. After knight d6, c3. With compensation for the exchange down the pass pawn at c3. After the game, knight c3, rook takes c3, bishop takes c3, rook d6, queen a8. If queen b7, bad move. White simply check knight f6. After bishop takes f6, queen takes b7. If queen c7, simply knight takes c3. After c takes b3, knight e4, b takes a2, knight f6. White is winning. After the game, queen a8, queen f4. Now the bishop is hanging at c3. Bishop g7, rook d7, f5. The best try is rook f8. That is the only move. After bishop takes f8, rook takes f8, b takes c4. White has the advantage because of active pieces. The white rook at the 7th rank, the queen at f4, and the active knight at e4. After f5, now we reach one of our popular and exciting puzzles in our page. I give you 15 to 30 seconds to solve this. Time is up. After f5, Some answered knight f6, check. But black simply captured by bishop takes f6. If queen h6, bishop e7. If bishop takes e7, queen c6. Black is winning because after bishop f6, queen takes d7. The g7 square is protected. And most of our followers answered queen h6, which also played in the game. That is excellent move. And black cannot escape to multiple threat. Queen takes g7 checkmate, or knight f6, or queen takes h7. But after bishop takes h6, knight f6 check, king h8 force, rook takes h7 checkmate. And that's all for today. If this video is helpful to you, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel so you can watch more helpful videos in the future. Thank you for watching and good luck, GMGers.